Alright, hello and welcome to Camel Finance. I'm your boy Camel, and it occurred to me whilst I was editing yesterday that I skipped over the S&P 500 and that I said I was going to come back and look at the Coinbase chart and I just didn't. So I'll start by quickly writing that. The last time I covered the S&P, I said that I would be out on I would cover my short. I'd be out of that position if we got a trend line break, and since we gapped above that position was closed for close to break even, so we don't need that, don't need this anymore. And as I said in the last time I covered the S&P, I would be looking for longs on a break of this trend line, and it would probably look something like this. So that's that. I also said I would take a look at Coinbase. So here's Coinbase. To be honest, it's not that interesting as it stands. You could maybe draw a trend line like this, but it's going to be a while before we come into contact with that. If we can do something like this, where we just kind of chop around and then emerge from a base here, something like, I don't know, like this. So perhaps we coil up underneath here and then break out, and that breakout becomes buyable for me. But until then, I think this is not super interesting to me. But being a bit more patient, I think we'll eventually set this up to be a decent trade. I don't think Coinbase is going anywhere. That doesn't mean I trust them and keep my coins on Coinbase at all, or any exchange for that matter. But I think, like I said, if we can form a base here and then emerge from that base, that becomes a buy for me. So anyway, that's that covered. Let's get into today's episode. We got a heat wave here in the UK. It's going to be as high as 41 Celsius in some parts of the UK, which is insane for over here. But none of that really matters because Ethereum has broken the $1,300 mark, and actually at the time of recording is close to taking out the $1,500 mark. We have almost 22.5k Bitcoin, so these sorts of things are nice to see. I noticed that a lot of stuff about Russia banning Bitcoin and banning crypto is circulating. A lot of people think that this is a problem, or that somehow this is going to be detrimental to Bitcoin. But I've got two things to point out, or three things actually. Firstly, this is an amendment to an already drafted digital asset law that was drafted in 2020. It only really says that you can't use digital securities or utility tokens as a means of payment for goods and services. So is Bitcoin a security? No, it's a commodity. Is it a utility token? No, it's a commodity. So that's my first point. My second point is this man right here, he's a whale. He's a humpback whale. Make no mistake, this man owns more Bitcoin than everyone you've ever met combined, okay? Like, this guy, it's not going anywhere. And let's say he did ban Bitcoin, like, can that stop me sending somebody in Russia Bitcoin? No. Does it stop somebody in Russia sending me Bitcoin? No, of course it doesn't. So this is nonsense. But hopefully you can see why I'm also so keen to give this no energy whatsoever. Because if you just type in Russia bans Bitcoin into Google, followed by 2014, 2015, 2016, what you'll find is Russia banned Bitcoin use is the headline in 2014. Okay, Russia changes its mind on Bitcoin ban 2016. Then in 2019, again, central bank says it would support a crypto ban from Russia. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing here. In 2021, Russian central bank to seek ban on investment in cryptocurrencies. All of this stuff is just fake news. Like, I doubt Russia even has anything to do with it, really. This is just our mainstream media trying to scare people away from buying Bitcoin. Keep in mind, in March of this year, 25th of March of this year, Russia was considering accepting Bitcoin for oil and gas, and it now will accept Bitcoin for oil and gas. So what are we doing here? Why are we giving this energy? I don't know. But if you've been around long enough, then you've seen these things. They just play out over and over again. But that's my opinion on that. This is the same for India. I've seen this as well. India, the central bank has recommended a ban on all cryptocurrencies. Well, if you type in India ban crypto or India ban Bitcoin, followed by 2014, 2015, 2016 into Google, what you'll find is the exact same thing, that this is just recycled FUD that goes around and around and around just to make people scared about buying Bitcoin. And you notice that all of this comes right at the bottom when everyone's super bearish and scared, right? On the contrary, the UK Treasury had numerous high-level meetings with Binance, Paxos, Coinbase, and Circle in Q1 of this year. And then this sort of face. But it's not really surprising. They've been telling us this for a while now. Exchange provider Exchange, and Circle, of course, being the creator of the USDC stablecoin. But it was only back in May that the UK was proposing regulations that would recognise stablecoins as a form of payment. Also, Tether came out and launched a stablecoin tied to the pound, as the UK was also telling everyone they wanted to become this crypto hub and crypto innovator of the world. Here you go, USDC coin, the stablecoin. It was created by Circle. So that's that. And also, when I was looking this up, I thought, haven't I seen Circle doing something with the Digital Pound Foundation? And yes, they have. So they are working on a fully reserved euro-backed stablecoin, the Euro coin, Euro C. In world news, Iran and Argentina have recently applied for BRICS membership. BRICS being Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South America. And there have been numerous reports of Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Egypt doing so as well. So this is something to follow, something I'll be keeping an eye on and reporting back. In May, China said that it wanted to expand BRICS. The world is changing, and it is. It's because people are realizing that the dollar has its days numbered. And as it is currently the world reserve currency, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown, right? So a lot of these nations are going to want to slide in there and take it if they can. Likely there's going to be a one world order, a one world government, a one world money. But that remains to be seen for now. I will continue to update on this as and when I see something worth mentioning. The average American worker lost $3,400 in annual wages due to inflation, according to Fox Business. And as soon as I saw this, I thought that seems very low. Should be a lot more than that, right? So anyway, I did the maths. I had to find the UK national average salary. If you understand maths, you'll know why I took the median average, not the mean. But of course, if you took the mean, you just end up losing even more money. So we'll be conservative about this. Took the median average salary, 31.2. Times by 0.8, because we've got 20% inflation this year. So that takes away 20%, roughly speaking. That would leave you 25k. And what's the difference between that? Well, this year alone in the UK, the median wage is down £6,257. So keep in mind that that's after last year of 10, 11, 12%, whatever it was. So just in the last year and a half, most people in the UK have lost around a third of their wages. So when I did see this number at 3,400, especially because the average wage in America is significantly above 31.2. I mean, it's in dollars, right? But I think the average wage in the States, correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone's from the States, let me know, but I thought 50k a year was average in dollars in the States. So I don't know, this number seemed far too low, but perhaps they've got much better wage expansion on an annual basis over there as well. I don't know. Yeah, if any Americans are watching, let me know. I'd be interested to know about that. But in the UK, it is not good for people that are keeping their money in the bank and only getting a 2% annual pay rise, which I believe is the average. And so if you want a monetary debasement hedge, if you want somewhere to store your wealth where you can be immune to this sort of thing, what better place than Bitcoin? And to illustrate this, here's Bitcoin's relationship with the M2 money supply. So you can see in blue, you've got global M2, and as this rises and falls, so does Bitcoin's market cap in gold. Okay, and this will continue to be something that we observe. Bitcoin is certainly one option if you want to hedge against the inevitability that is monetary debasement. We've got more adoption. Luxury yacht service company Yotzu is now accepting Bitcoin, Shiba, and Doge and other cryptocurrencies as payment methods. I don't know why they put Shiba and Doge in with Bitcoin, to be honest. So this is adoption. I've covered the Pi cycle bottom a few times on this channel now, and we've just had a Pi cycle low indicator flash. But this guy up here has said that, have you looked at the Bollinger Bands based on the 2.618 fib ratio, which is drawn here as the black line? And what he says is every single time we've ever had a touch, it's marked the bottom for at least a significantly risk-on period for Bitcoin. So we've had that at the same time as the Pi cycle low is ticking bullish. So this is a nice piece of confluence here. I like to see that. The $6 billion broker M1 Finance is going to allow its clients to buy Bitcoin. So again, this is more mainstream adoption. This is more onboarding, and you're going to see this network continue to grow exponentially over time. Paraguay is saying that Bitcoin and crypto companies are exempt from paying VAT in a newly approved bill. And this is what we really need to see. Countries, they can keep pretending like they're going to ban this, they can keep pretending like they're going to regulate it into the ground, but if they don't start to embrace it, other places will, and then game theory plays out, right? So if you don't want to get left behind as a country or a nation or a state, then you really have to start embracing this stuff while you still can. Typically speaking, Bitcoiners can be polarizing. But one thing nobody can disagree with is the data, and the data shows that the number of addresses with a balance greater than 0.01 Bitcoin continues to make new all-time highs. So again, it fits with the same theme, doesn't it? We are going to continue to see adoption, exponential growth of the network over the coming years, and in my opinion, you really don't want to miss out. T Analyst is saying there are only a maximum of 143 days left before a big bull run. So maybe we've started now and we're off to the races, or maybe we've got to do some sort of giant double bottom that drops into the end of the year to find a 4-year cycle low, and then we can go. But either way, we're getting close. We all know we're getting close. So let's take a quick look at the charts. I've kind of already covered the S&P. Like I said, looking for longs on a trend line break. We will see how this goes. If we get a little congestion or chop around here, or if we break out and it's a false breakout and then we close back below this trend line, then this becomes a short for me, targeting new lows. If you're new to the channel, this yellow vertical line denotes an approximate timing band window for when I suspect we will likely see a Fed pivot. This has been here for weeks. If you go back and watch any of the older videos, you'll see that I've been calling for a Fed pivot around September, pretty much since all the way back here. So I will, I'll keep an eye on that. But in terms of the trading, like I said, long on a trend line break or short at rejection. That's my plan. I flagged this and we are officially long the UKX. So we'll see how this goes, targeting the top of this range here. And perhaps beyond it. So yeah, if you're watching the channel, you'll know that that's been lined up and bought at open this morning. So happy days. JD Sports I flagged on Friday. There's a data issue on this chart for some reason. So I don't know if I can find it. So something's wrong with the data for some reason. But apparently we're up 0.5% today. So anyway, I'll keep an eye on that. But there's nothing wrong inside my brokerage account, inside my derivatives account. So it doesn't really matter. But I'm going to need to wait a day or two for the chart to update for some reason. Gold getting some level of bounce, but like I said, I'm not really interested until we can get above at least 37 and perhaps beyond that. On a trend line break, we'll be looking for longs. So something like this, I guess. We'll see how it goes. But I think we need to be a little bit more patient here. If we go to get a close back above here, then we can call this a swing low pattern, albeit a bit wonky, and then perhaps we can get long with a stop below this low. But for now, not looking to jump in front of any trains, and still keeping an eye on this level down here, because I could see a test of this or even a wick below it to create a spring. So I'll be keeping my eye on that, and I'll let you know as and when I see something. Crypto is looking great at the moment, isn't it? So we had this swing low in the timing band for the day 60. It looks to be taking out this high, or trying to at the moment, so that's nice to see. Ethereum is up 10% at the time of recording, so again, this is turning into a great trade, isn't it? We'll put this back here, and coming into overhead resistance right now, so we need to pay attention at this line, but particularly if we can break this line, then I see no reason why we can't make it all the way up here over the coming couple of weeks. So we'll see about that. MATIC I've flagged multiple times, long and strong. Again, just gonna try and keep pushing this and get as much as I can out of it. So not much I can do really. Stop, I think I've already mentioned this. I had an original stop down here, but this stop is now up here, so it's much tighter. So I've taken a bit of risk off. And if we were to get maybe above $1, then I think I would take the stop to break even, or so. Perhaps even lock in some profit. I might take a partial at that point. We'll see how quickly it gets there. The more vertical it goes, the more likely I am to take a partial. But if we start to sort of produce a much more sustainable angle, then I will continue to push it as much as I can. So we'll see how that goes. Our experimental chart is breaking down nicely, so just going to keep an eye on this for now, see what happens. If you know, you know. If you don't, go back and watch the videos. And the dollar, interestingly enough, looks like we've got a top, right? Came a day after the Bitcoin cycle low, but there it is. So what happens now? Is this just a pullback before going again, or are we finally going to start to break this parabola? I've been saying as for a while, I think there's possibly a few weeks left in this uptrend, but we are getting closer every day, so we'll see how this goes. 10-year yields still can't break out, can they? So I like to see that. It tells us to be open to having seen peak inflation. Oil, I just missed oil for some reason. Oil into resistance, I think lower before higher. However, I'll be open to taking a long on a trend line break. It would look something like this. But I kind of see oil being under pressure, especially since we've had these Saudis come out recently and say that they're going to increase production and drilling, and therefore increase the supply, and likely that will continue to put downward pressure on oil. So not super interested in that at the moment. I got plenty of exposure, and I am still looking to buy gold, although I want to be a bit more patient, because if I'd have been impatient any time in here, I'd have got 3 stops already or something. So I want to get this right, I want to take our time. I think that's everything. If anyone's got any questions, throw them down below. Drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're not. Hello to the new subscribers. Appreciate everyone that subscribes and engages with the channel, so thank you very much. Don't get sunburnt today if you're in the UK, because it's hot out there. I want to be hiding in the shade, I think. And I hope you're all doing well. Hope your families are good. Look after yourselves, look after your families. All the best, take care. Cheers, bye.